All of Israel is against Netanyahu. All of Israel supports the release of prisoners immediately. The fear is immense that images resembling those of the Holocaust could emerge. If these images shift from color to black and white, they would not differ from pictures of the Holocaust. The starvation that occurred in Gaza directly affected the prisoners as well. It was clear that Netanyahu would not leave the matter unresolved, merely sending notes back to intermediaries. The issue revolves around procedures. This is the main development. The fundamental reason is the refusal to place such individuals under arrangements for release. This has been a prominent issue. There are 5 reasons. The first reason, we are the flood, we are the day after. This was the headline conveyed in Hebrew. It spread across all media outlets. The second issue is the remaining 76 prisoners, who created an uproar about their fate. Time became a critical factor and it worked against them. Therefore, resistance fighters repeatedly emphasized that time was running out. This fear, anxiety, and the ticking clock were evident in all videos. Netanyahu ignored it until the images surfaced, making the developments of the day particularly significant, especially regarding the second phase of prisoner releases. This shift caused a dramatic reversal in public opinion, exposing Netanyahu's miscalculation. He assumed the remaining prisoners would be like the first group and did not anticipate this situation becoming so difficult, particularly concerning central camps. The Israeli army believed all prisoners were concentrated in central camps, preserving a significant portion compared to the north and south. What the Israelis did in Beit Lahia, Beit Hanun, Jabalia, Khan Yunis, and Rafah was brutal destruction, complete devastation. Today there are staggering losses because the number of documented martyrs has surpassed previous figures, including missing persons whose bodies have yet to be recovered. Confirming their retrieval is crucial for the message being conveyed. The emergence of Al-Yassin 105 sent a strong message about Hamas's capabilities. Most experts agree that the weapons used by Israel in reality originated from Germany. What was once suspected is now confirmed. It's not just about rifles but also the MBT-5, a weapon designed primarily for elite forces and special operations units. These same weapons were highlighted during hostage rescue attempts via specialized operations involving the MBT-5. As Yoav Gallant stated daily, every additional day in captivity is a death sentence. This may be the most important slogan in Israel today. Opposition leader Simona Davidson from Yesh Atd said, 85 years ago we vowed this would never happen again. Today's images are terrifying, reminiscent of the Holocaust. In parallel, Jonathan Sherris noted that if these images were converted to black and white, they would evoke memories of the Holocaust. Yossi Alfer, Yossi Shabibi, and others directly influenced public opinion by recalling the Holocaust. Everyone returned to these images, which are highly significant today. The connection between the Holocaust and what Israel has done in Gaza, starvation and the treatment of prisoners, is undeniable. Today, the situation is dialectical. Initially, the tactic was Nabal when Gallant explicitly ordered the bombing of hostages and pipelines simultaneously on October 7th. This decision was confirmed by the defense minister who was later dismissed, Gallant. It was clear at that point that the tactic of Nabal had shifted. Today, another tactic must be considered. The starvation imposed on Gaza, which the resistance warned would affect all prisoners, indeed reached every prisoner. Hostages and detainees alike suffered under starvation, appearing like Gazans, images of children starving and people dying of hunger. Thus, hostages and photographers paid the same price. Today, Israel wants the release of all prisoners. The matter is no longer tied to the first phase or extending it, as Netanyahu desires, through deals delaying the second phase. This is the current tactic, releasing more prisoners in exchange for Palestinian detainees. The game now shifts to quantity. How many prisoners should be released? However, there is no political cost associated with withdrawing from Gaza, fully withdrawing, or leaving Gaza entirely. Instead, we face the extension of the first phase. Releases will likely involve clearing Israeli prisons of Palestinian prisoners. This may be the path everyone is heading toward, essentially transferring Gaza's fate to the Americans. The second issue is the prisoner exchange game, a numbers game involving releasing more prisoners and emptying Israeli prisons of Palestinians. This is particularly prominent in the second phase. Netanyahu does not want Hamas to repeat this release strategy by sending messages. Therefore, the matter involves releasing hundreds, which was a key aspect of the plan Israel is currently working on. 3 critical points emerge. 1. The appearance of. 2. The emergence of MBT-5 weapons used by Israeli special forces. A clear message that these elite units attempting to reach prisoners faced significant defeat and difficulties. 3. There are undisclosed facts from Hamas and other factions. These circumstances reveal severe war conditions affecting civilians in Gaza and Israeli prisoners held by the resistance. All of this highlights real challenges. Estimates suggest that what Israel is experiencing now is unprecedented, not since its establishment but dating back to 1945 or even before the state's founding. This reflects a return to history, where the self-determination of the Palestinian people becomes central. Palestinian lands must be returned to them, and Israelis must live within internationally recognized borders. For the first time, Israel resorts to correspondence with the ICC, celebrating sanctions against international justice yesterday while seeking protection today. Why? Because Israel feels it has regressed to pre-statehood conditions. These images, reminiscent of past atrocities, will not return, but they have resurfaced in Gaza, revealing collective punishment leading to further suffering. Starvation affects both hostages and detainees alike, exposing another phase in the conflict. Today, Israeli consciousness returns to the Holocaust meaning much. What happened in Gaza was genocide, and Israeli prisoners in the sector paid the price too. This situation cannot be undermined by Netanyahu or Trump's tactics. It is extremely difficult and reminds us that the Israeli narrative began with the Holocaust. Every Israeli faces a mirror. How did we end up here? Occupation leads to images returning Israel to 1945. Everyone asks directly, why does Israel still occupy land belonging to its original people? Not only in Gaza, the West Bank, or East Jerusalem, but also concerning Palestinian statehood and self-determination. Just as Israel was established after the Holocaust, a Palestinian state must be established after Gaza's devastation. This equation is gaining ground in Israel, even among wide segments of the right wing, as their collapse pushes directly toward new perspectives. Trump's statements about displacing this population sparked extraordinary enthusiasm. However, it became clear that this people cannot be removed from their land. Most dangerously, collective punishment has not broken the people of Gaza, the Palestinian people in the sector. Thank you very much and see you soon.